We are back in the conference, and I want to invite Dr. Burulia to take us and lead us through the session where we shall discuss matters that are interesting to many of us. Dr. Burulia.
Thank you. This session, as you're seeing, is very important to us. We are going to look at the role of traditional medicine and see the role that the University of Nairobi pharmacists are playing in capacity building, advocacy, and practice. Important in this setting because we are obviously looking for alternative sources of medicines. We know, especially when it comes to the area of anti-infectives, what we have may not be very effective anymore, so there is need for others. We know that we have our people in this country that do not have access because of various reasons to the conventional medicines. And we know that even again, when we have tried various types of treatments, we still go back to the traditional practitioners. And we have a number of graduates from the University of Nairobi that are going to give us their contributions here. And because we're pressed for time, I would request that we really summarize what we have. And we have presenters, including Dr. Pauline Duya. We have Dr. Ronald Inyangara. We have Dr. Nelly Mungai. We're expecting to have a practitioner, Dr. Maina Moya, whom we hope will still be there. I'll call upon our first presenter then. That is Dr. Duya. If you're ready, please.
Good morning, everyone. I am very glad today. It's an honor actually to just be part of this symposium and share what we have been working on, what we are looking ahead on, and our plans as a country. My name is Pauline Duya. I work at the Ministry of Health in the Directorate of Health Products and Technologies, but I head the Division of Traditional and Alternative Medicine. I want to state that the name alternative sometimes is usually quite a bit confusing, and I may say a little bit erroneous, because if you're talking about an alternative, sometimes it's like you want to substitute, you know. But in essence, what these medicines are all about is complementing. A lot of times they complement the usual conventional medicines that we take. So today, my presentation will be very short because we were told it's about 6 to 7 minutes. So I have very few slides, but I believe that for that short period of time, we are going to share a lot. So the topic, as Professor has said, is about our role in capacity building, advocacy, and practice in the area of traditional medicine. But I want us to think broadly, because we are no longer thinking just about traditional medicine anymore, as you know it. We are thinking about many other forms of medicines, complementary, integration. So the scope has broadened. over the years, if you look at even what the WHO is now proposing or is working on, is that we are referring to this sector as traditional, complementary, and integrative health, because we have moved ahead. It's about how do you combine these two systems of medicine so that you're able to treat your patients holistically. And so I'll start with, next. I'll just give us a few definitions so that we are all on the same page. And my outline is, okay, definition, capacity building, advocacy, practice, and then the sub-themes that I will focus on are on policy and regulation, training and education, research and development, quality and safety, and then just mention a little about rational use. Next. So traditional medicine, as you have seen, is just what we define as some total of knowledge, skill, practices that are based on theories, beliefs, and experiences that are indigenous to different cultures, whether you can explain them or not, as long as you can see an outcome or an effect in the client you're dealing with. Then when we are talking about complementary medicines, well, you would say they are also traditional medicines, but generally we say that as long as they are not your indigenous in-country practices, then we say they are complementing you. And in our case here in Kenya, we would say that things like Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, we would call them as complementary medicine. But if you look at the philosophies, they are usually more or less similar. Then we go to integrative medicine, where I said that we are now looking at how do we combine the use of conventional medicine and complementary medicine so that we are able to provide holistic care. And this is really based on evidence-based complementary medicine. Next. And so what is our role as pharmacists? I usually feel sometimes that this is the area where most of us pharmacists have really shied away from. And yet there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot that we can actually do in this sector, starting from, farming to the end. In agriculture, people usually refer to these things as farm to fork, but ours, I say farm to product, generally. And so, because I work mostly in the area of policy and regulation, our role is to see that we establish systems that are geared toward integration of this sector. And so in that, we must develop policies, we must develop guidelines, we must develop the regulatory framework. And as a country, we are currently on that journey. I know my colleagues here know what the kind of struggles we've had over the years, but I want to give you hope today and put a smile on your face, especially, I know Dr. Ogaja is here smiling because she was in that seat at some point, yeah? So there is hope. We are getting there. And currently we are working on a draft that should almost be out within the year, because there's just some sort of new hope. I think when COVID happened, everyone woke up and realized that, we cannot just rely on conventional medicine. We have to look at what else can we do. I know all of us here were busy drinking concoctions, and that's the time you start feeling, I wish we had put more effort here. Now we would not be suffering. So I said we have draft policies, we have draft bill, and even as you know, we already have a draft Kenya Health Products, Technologies, and something, I forget the other name, that will also look at products. So a lot is going on. There is hope. Very soon, hopefully by next year, we will be smiling. Yeah. Then the other thing is on research and development. What is our role? From where I sit, because we are dealing with policy and technical assistance, as a government, as a Ministry of Health, we have committees that look at the national priorities. What is the research agenda? And also, what are the priorities for our country? And so we are plugging into that space where we want to see if we can bring all the researchers who are in this sector to look at the priorities that the Ministry of Health is actually focusing on, and then be able to provide solutions. There's a lot of work that has been done, but many times what we have seen is that it is not translated into policy. And I remember during the time of COVID, I was busy giving, write-ups and evidence, and my superiors were saying, okay, give us the hard evidence. We cannot just go out there and say. So we need to bring all these information together, package it and present it, whether it is in policy briefs or whatever is applicable to our setup. Then currently we are also developing a national research framework. As I said, we want to just bring in everybody together and speak with one voice, so that if we are focusing on matters of cancer treatment, we have everything together. We look at what products are already in this sector. How can we add value? How can we make sure that they are presentable? How is it that the Pharmacy and Poisons Board can help us register even the simple ones, in an easier way? The other part is on education. So what we have done is we have engaged the practitioners. They are classified, they have these societies and associations. So from time to time, we have held trainings on areas such as intellectual property rights when we are collaborating with institutions like KIPI. We have educated them on a few matters on GMP with help from PPB, and also public health matters. Then the other area that we want to move on now is sensitizing the conventional medicine practitioners, and that will be happening in the next few months. Just keep your ears open. So that now we want to create more awareness, because these things are already on the ground, they are happening. But the gap that we felt has been there is that the policy area has still not come out very strongly, but we are hoping to change that narrative because we are working on it. Next. And so in terms of practice, what is our role? What are these areas that we are looking at? In the new policy that will soon be coming out, we are proposing for mechanisms of collaboration between conventional and complementary medicine practitioners. And I want to report that even in practice, one area that I've seen this work very well is in the rehabilitative sector, where you have physiotherapists and chiropractors working together very closely. Maybe it's just not come out, but you'll find some of these clinics where these practitioners are already together. So this is happening. And maybe now what we need is just to put guidelines and policy, on how this should be done. But it's already on the ground. Now, what we need to work on is how do we, as pharmacists who are interested in this area, also form collaborations, with the complementary health practitioners, the herbalists. I know that in research this has happened, but it needs to move higher because people have a lot of information. We need to see it on the table. I usually say that my hope and vision is that at one time, like maybe other countries, we will have even one product that is listed in our essential lists of medicines in the country. And that would be a very, very big plus. So that is our vision. And I know with people here who are very experienced, like Imoto, Prof, and all these minds, we can actually work together. Then the other part is in providing counseling. Now, we have seen even in the media so many times where people have consumed different kinds of complementary medicines, and then the side effects are just reported. And other times, we have people who have died because of kidney failure, where people were just told, these medicines, there's usually the erroneous blanket, comments that you hear, they are safe. But we know it's not always that they are safe. And what is it that you're eating? So the issues of quality, the issues of safety, that is where we as pharmacists need to really come out strongly. If you go even within our health sector in the hospitals right now, very few of us are in that space where we can comfortably say that we are giving, medication advice. I know people come with medicines, but they fear to share with us. Why can't we even set up, clinics Why can't we even just set up rooms within the hospital systems where we are giving advice? It starts small, but then we can build up. When people see that there is this service that is being provided, then they can actually come in. So let us use this knowledge that we already have. The other part is in partnerships, in basic and clinical research. That one I will not talk much. My colleague here, Dr. Inyangala, will tell us more on what he's been doing. And the other one is promoting rational use of complementary medicine. I cannot emphasize enough. These are things that we all know. These are things that maybe we have just not worked on. But I also want to encourage the younger pharmacists coming up. This is an area that you can explore. I have seen our colleagues in the medical field who are now, gearing towards setting up wellness clinics. We should not be left behind. These are things that we can look at. There's a skincare industry. There's so much more that this can actually be applicable. So there is hope. Do not give up when you come out. There's a lot that we can do together. So with that, I just want to say thank you. I think my presentation is done next. Maybe it's the last one. Oh yeah, the last one, advocacy. So as I said, we are looking at developing sensitization frameworks, programs, first to our colleagues in the health sector, and then now to the public. Where I sit, our office has been very small, but we are growing, and there's a lot happening. And once we are able to build capacity, these things are going to happen. So support us and be on the lookout. Then we will be implementing laws and policies. And then also we are looking towards having engagement forums with political leaders where we can lobby, where we can educate, and just raise the importance of this sector for more support. And I think that's the end of my presentation now. Thank you so much for listening. Oh, yes, in 2005. I graduated in 2005. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, morning. My name is Dr. Ronald. My name is Dr. Ronald. I'm short, eh? My name is Dr. Ronald Inyangala. Graduated in 1988. I can see quite some of you. My lecturers are here. Don't have classmates. I'm the only one here now. I did my master's in complementary medicine, again at the University of Nairobi, and graduated in 2013. And I hope I'm going to graduate with my PhD in complementary medicine again from the same university this year. I have worked with the public sector. I've worked in hospitals, and then I've worked at the Pharmacy and Poisons Board for around 20 years. And now I'm in research. I'm doing research with the Kenya Institute of Primate Research, and I'm majoring on just traditional medicine. So right now, I have a presentation on traditional medicine towards the integration of traditional medicine into mainstay healthcare system. And of course, we have defined traditional medicine. I don't want to repeat because she defined. I've given examples of traditional medicine. Some of it is here. We have traditional birth attendance medicines. We have mental health medicines. We have herbal medicines. We have sorcery. We have charms and spiritual healing. Of all these, the most common is herbal medicine. We note that around 80% of the population is using herbal medicines. We are yet to establish
how many are using herbal medicines in Kenya, but we have interviewed over 600 members of the public. We shall be able to get the percentage of herbal medicine users in Kenya as a fact from the study we have done. WHO has advised that countries should include traditional medicine in their healthcare system. Our Health Act recognizes this as an issue and directs that the ministry develops policies to implement this. However, there are no policy and legal framework to actualize what the Health Act states. We have the environment for integration of traditional medicine into a healthcare system. We have government, we have the patient, we have healthcare workers, we have herbalists, and we have the Ministry of Health. All these play an important role. In policy framework, we have the Constitution 2010 that under Section 43A1 directs that every person has a right to the highest standard of health, does not say modern health or traditional medicine. It says you have a right to the highest standard of health. And Vision 2030 states that we have universal health coverage as a component. However, the Health Policy 2014-2030 does not mention anything on traditional medicine. Session paper number 2 of 2017 says a little about traditional medicine. Of course, Health Act states about traditional medicine, but the universal health policy, universal health coverage policy also is silent, which is now existing now, does not say anything about the traditional medicine. Yeah. So we don't have the universal health coverage policy does not say anything about traditional medicine. It is in our view that the Ministry of Health should come up with policies to implement the Health Act. On research as a component, you see that circle, the government had a section and then now research. We have several research institutions and we have universities that are carrying out scattered research. But this research is not organized into a system that can inform the public. Let's say like a pharmacopoeia. It's not organized into that kind of system. And there's no organized training or knowledge management for traditional medicine practitioners. Our study recommends that research be undertaken to establish the safety profiles of the traditional medicines, pharmacological activities of traditional medicines, and extraction methods, because we realize that most of our herbalists only use water as a solvent, and water is a very poor solvent in that matter. So we need to do research and get proper extraction methods and document that, so that when we do traditional medicine, we have a proper extraction methods. And also we need to train herbalists, the practicing herbalists, and efforts to be put in place to start herbalist training programs that will acquaint conventional healthcare, traditional healthcare people with traditional herbalists with the normal practices in medicine, and we also acquaint healthcare workers on herbal medicines. So there's two angles. These ones have to be acquainted, the healthcare workers have to be acquainted, and the herbalists also have to be trained on these normal healthcare practices. We have IPR as the most challenge. Most of the traditional medicine practitioners are very reluctant. We have interviewed 350 traditional medicine practitioners, and they're very reluctant to release the information, to disclose the contents of their preparations. However, the Department of Culture has Protection of Traditional Knowledge and Cultural Expression Act of 2016. However, this act is not implemented fully. Two, even the traditional medicine practitioners are not aware of this act. So action point is the Department of Culture should train traditional medicine practitioners on this and try to implement the act, so that they are free to give the information, to disclose the information for scientists to carry out the necessary research. Regulation of traditional medicine products and traditional medicine practices. We realize that these practices and products are not well regulated. So it's our contention that these relevant government departments, the Pharmacy and Poison Sport, the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, should provide the solutions to challenges that these traditional health practitioners are facing in registering their products. And also, there should be mechanisms of regulating their practices, either as a cultural practice or as a healthcare profession. There are those we are proposing that they remain as a cultural practice and they are regulated as such. And there are those that we are proposing that they become healthcare practitioners and they are regulated as such. The public, we have been able to talk to about over 600 members of the public. And like I said, we are going to know how many of them are supporting integration of this into traditional medicines in the healthcare system, but generally they support the use of traditional medicine. Therefore, it is up to the Pauline and the group to come up with a system that can support integration of traditional medicine into healthcare system. And we have come up with the proposals on how to integrate. There are papers that we are going to publish, and we'll be able to see what we are talking about in those papers. Thank you very much. God bless you.
On my right, I have my able choir members. We want you to conduct Baraka za Mungu za ajabu. Can we go? We start. 1, 2, 3. Baraka za Mungu kweli. Baraka za Mungu kweli. Tutaenda kwenda juu, kwenda chini, kwenda mbele, kwenda nyuma, kwa mataifa yote. Upande kwa mataifa yote. Karibuni, ketini chini. I don't know whether you have my presentation. I revised it. But before I go there, maybe I need to just say thank you, the organizers, my able Professor Emeritus, the Chief Chair, Dr. Mwangi, the Deputy, Dr. Gidenji, and all those who are involved in this. At one time, I know we started this, we almost went down, but the fire has continued burning. My name is Nelly Nyambura Mungai. Those who are with me, like my able classmates, Dr. Wilberforce Wanyanga, my classmate, Professor Oluka, who has been very key in this. They used to know me as Nelly Nyambura Mwangi. And you are two Mwangis, and up to now, people confuse me. with my classmate, Mary Mwangi, who is a big practitioner in community pharmacy at Murang'a County. Yeah, so that tells you I am very young. I only graduated in 1981, and the journey has been there. We thank God for his faithfulness. We have just had a callus. Traditional medicine can be very tricky, can be very complex, but remember, we are now in this country in the era of mental health. Those of us who read the most read book, the Bible, remember one king, Saul. He was into depression, and his depression was being treated by music, by David with the line. So you see where I'm coming from? Yeah. Thank you very much. My presentation is going to be very fast because I have done it mainly in what we do. When Professor requested me, I come and say something about what we do in preparing our students, our graduates in the area of traditional, alternative, complementary, integrated medicine. I really didn't know. Actually, I really acted. Remember, she's my big mentor. I really acted a good Moses. I can't do it. You have other people. You know, I'm a stammerer. That didn't convince her. I told her, no, you know, Prof, I can, why don't you go to, I even suggested names. That time I acted like a Jonah. I almost went hiding, but Prof being who she is, in her vocabulary, if I have appointed a Nelly, you have to do it. So I had no choice. Ultimately, I'm here before you just to present what we do. For our students, we have walked this journey, and I'm glad we are all here as we have been going through the first, second day. And I was listening online, and I know our able Professor Kibwage Lile kind of took us through what the history of what we have come from and some of the areas we do. I don't want really to discuss so much about undergraduate, but I have the overview. In pharmacognosy, in traditional medicine, we cannot talk of traditional medicine, whether complementary, whether integrated, without plants. And so in my presentation, I have really done a number of plants. Maybe, yeah, some of them are so common. Aloe vera. Every home compound these days almost has an aloe vera. There is another one that is Mentha piperita. The ladies, we want to stay taking that herbal tea. We are there. Medicine and plants, pharmacognosy and plants, we can't run away from it. Those are the areas we take our students through, both undergraduate and postgraduate, and we'll get there. The next slide is a kind of status of what Dr. Duya, where I'm going to get to her very soon, was alluding to the kind of products that we have in our market. Are they quality assurance? Who controls these products? We find them in every market. And Dr. Inyangara has said 80% of the population, this is acknowledged by WHO, use this traditional medicine. But we, who are supposed to be the custodians of these products, who are supposed to be giving value to our people, in fact, we just almost smile and just go our business when our people, the Ma community, are walking around with their jerrycans with their traditional herbs, however they have prepared them. But if you go to every market, let's start even to our local community, Kenya, you visit Uganda, you visit Tanzania, you always find that where. And they can be dry, and that is the different forms. They even get advanced, and we have the the symbol of pharmacy, pestle and mortar. That tells you we are in business. What is the next slide? I put it there just to support what my able policymaker, Dr. Duya, has alluded to. The products that are out there. We have always lived in the world of plenty. And I think Professor Keegan mentioned that when he was presenting. Prof. Gwantai has always said, pharmacists, we have always been very comfortable. That product there is not under the custody of PPB. It's not under the custody of Minister of Health. It is by the ordinary mwananchi. They are the people doing that business. We have neglected our area. Go to Health EU, a product of Avita, you see the price. So when I ask my students, why do you think people have now shifted kind of to traditional complementary medicine? They say cheap. I tell them, can you visit one of the shops and you see the kind of prices that are there, right? So that is why I put it there. But the journey has been there. We don't give up. We can see the next slide. How some people, some communities, you know, we also borrow from what other people have been doing, have stuck to their traditional and cultural system of taking care of the health of their people. That is the Chinese. They started where we are almost, spraying the products on the ground, dry, herb. And you could have it prescribed as it is. Dr. Julia is an expert in this. She went to some of those centers for her master's to learn. But they realized this is not good enough. They have gone on where they have improved on the products, grading, ginkgo biloba there, into powder form, into capsule form, and they have well-established pharmacies where you only enter there knowing you are not going to get conventional medicine, but only herbal and traditional medicine that are officially prescribed by their practitioners who are properly trained. So we have a journey, Dr. Duya, Dr. Nyangala, we have a journey in this area. The next slide is an interesting one. After this one, you can see the UEDA parking before we leave there, where the Chinese have gone, that if you visit their pharmacies, you actually will not really be able to tell whether the product is a conventional product or a herbal product. They have improved with the time and the packaging and the formulation of the herbal medicine, that even as you take it and as you buy it, it is in a presentable form. Pharmaceutics, formulation, packaging, where are we? We need people trained and work with our people to get our good products on the market. Next slide is an interesting one. Pharmacy, pharmacognosy looks at the whole spectrum of nature where we can obtain medicine. Animals are there. You have been talking of vaccines throughout. Dr. Vida was there talking of vaccines. This is where we start with the snake venoms, antivenoms, and then from there, the development of some of the vaccines. Before you go to biologicals, you go to the products. And then we go on and we take our students through this. I am glad I have the graduating class and I have the 5th year. They can almost attest to this. And all of us who have graduated, you are moving now to where maybe pharmaceutical, chemistry, and other departments that we collaborate with in helping our students be very grounded. Yesterday, I was proud to listen to Dr. Mwangi saying the kind of training we give our pharmacy students is first class, that even when they travel out there, they have no issues, yeah? That is one of our own alumni attesting to it. So we move now from the crude, the extract, and you get to the pure molecule. There I've given you the source of morphine, codeine, and the poppy plant, and you tell me where we could be without pharmacognosy. And this is not to support or to give more credence to that subject. This is one of the oldest basics of discipline in pharmacy. So that is where you have been moving on, and we have to continue learning and working on them. The next slide is what my able speakers have just talked about traditional medicine. This is very well supported by WHO. They have realized we cannot make it in universal healthcare without appreciating the role of traditional complementary integrated medicines. And for us, they know we are usually behind in Africa. They have even come up with guidelines. They first did a health monitor. That is where they started the decade of African traditional medicine from 2001 to 2000, I think, to 10. And there are other guidelines, like they will tell you what it is that you can improve on the products that we already have by our people. Dr. Nyangala has said the information is there. Dr. Aduya has said our people have the information, but remember intellectual property. We have to protect our own. And they have even guidelines on how to manufacture, practice, good manufacturing practice of herbal medicines. They have given us all those guidelines. Since it is all there, you can go and view and look at them. They have even guided our regulatory bodies, Pharmacy and Poisons Board. Yesterday, I listened to our CEO, Dr. Sioi, and one of the areas which we have not yet done is regulation of herbal medicines. Dr. Duya has made a plea for them. I don't know whether you got it, that we should not be as stringent as how we are with the conventional medicine. They have done that. We will not be the first to request for that. They have done that in European Commission. If you are dealing with a herbal product that has been used by the community, there are certain waivers that are there for you to have the product registered and be used by the community. So there we are. We have all those guidelines, and this is WHO that is supporting us down to the basics, where probably I feel comfortable more, is in the University of Nairobi. Now, after some, I don't know what it is, some hurricane that came. Now, I used to be with the Professor Gwentai in pharmacology and pharmacognosy. Then we underwent a hurricane now in pharmaceutical chemistry, in pharmaceutics, and pharmacognosy. But we do what you're supposed to do. It doesn't matter where we are still delivering. So we take care of our undergraduate. We take care of our postgraduate, and some of the things that we do, we are laying a foundation for our undergraduates to be prepared to do research, especially for plants as sources of medicine. And this is mainly to do, the main kind of research that has been there is science, evidence-based research. If that traditional practitioners from Mero says, you know, I've always used this for my migraine. As a scientist, like she has said, you just cannot go there and present, okay? So you need to have evidence. This is the plant they use. This is, and we have tested and confirmed. So a lot of the publications that are there, we are still doing documentally that we have done under this area are actually scientific evidence-based, where plants are used in traditional medicine and in different pharmacological activities that are there. There is also the quality assurance of herbal products that are already there. Dr. Nyagana might have forgotten, but one of his thesis was on a product that is from China on ginseng. That is what he worked for his master's. That is just ensuring everybody comes and say, oh, this is herbal, like somebody has said, it's good. How do we know it's good? We need quality assurance of also these products. And that is what WHO has given us guidelines on how to do it. So that is a big area. It is not really, we have not even scratched, I think, even 2% of it. And as I speak, I'm happy to note that even our professors, Professor Emeritus, who is here with us, Professor Guantai, all his research for her PhD was on plants. Yes, and most of us are where we are working on plants. Professor Okalebo did her master's on plants, then went to do other things in downtown, Cape Town. And all of us, most of us at that level, we do a lot of research on plants. So that tells you our contribution towards academia in health, in pharmaceutical education. For pharmacognosy, we are not only limited to the class, to the lecture theater, to the lab, we also serve our community. One of the areas that we have been working with is in the areas of assisting our traditional practitioners. I don't know whether it's Dr. Nyangara has said the Ministry of Culture also works with them. And all we do right now is very basic. And some of them would like us to go and even test their products. But now we have to work with the pharmaceutical chemistry department towards quality assurance, and also work with National Quality Control Lab so that we are able to assure or give a good report quality of the products they have, but at least we support them so that they can be recognized in the communities where they come from, because they offer service. For the people who go there and they are not going to the referral hospital, some have gone to the referral hospital and they find they still need to go to them. Some have gone to the level 4 or whichever level of healthcare, and they still find they need to go there. That means these people offer a service. So we support them in ensuring they are recognized in the communities where they serve by the government. That is how they get certified and licensed to practice as local traditional practitioners. We are constantly consulting. This is one area we have not done very well. The clinical practitioners, even in our own hospital here, we will come like what Nicodemus did at night to find out about that herbal medicine that their old parents are taking, but it's working so well. They are sleeping like a baby. And we had been trying something else for them, and it's not working. Could we find out more about it? So we have been working with them. We have been consulting, but this is an area probably we need to do better. In terms of collaboration, now I'm in the next slide. Of course, my able Minister of Health on presenter, Dr. Duya, on policy. Yeah, we have a journey. We have worked with Dr. Duya. One time I was as chairman of the department, and there is this collaboration that was coming up. That is a side one now, not the main work, yeah? And the Chinese wanted people to go and do masters in traditional medicine. There was Dr. Duya, there was Dr. Kimondo, who else? Cannot remember. Anyway, and that time we had a lot of push and pull. Dr. Duya was already in a job. We have had Dr. Itotia saying she had only worked 14 days. Dr. Duya, I don't know how long she had worked. And now a scholarship has come. Do I leave the job? Do I go to study? And what are the prospects? But my other name, according to students, is Barnabas. I kept encouraging her. And I don't think she regrets having gone there. Even when she came with the papers. Dr. Mugai have come back. So what next? So we have walked the journey but I'm happy she can see the light that is there. And I wish we could have more of that collaboration. So we continue to collaborate. And then as she has already articulated, I don't want to go there, but we are actually daktari letting our people down. They are really asking for that integration with the conventional medicine, that people can make a choice. Do I want to go conventional medicine? Do I want to go midway, or do I want to go very well regulated complementary traditional medicine? So I really am happy that you have told us there is a light at the end of the tunnel. For pharmacy and poisons board, our regulatory affairs, we have contributed the personnel. Dr. Nyangala is the evidence. Dr. Sifuma, I think, has already retired. Yeah, we really prepared them for their masters, and Dr. Sifuma, by the time he was retiring, had already gotten his PhD in pharmacognosy and complementary medicine. So we continue doing the same, but currently we have a challenge. Our own institution, our own University of Nairobi, this is for my coordinator, Dr. Gwentai, removed one of the building blocks in a discipline of pharmacognosy. We don't have a master's program. Why they archived it, I don't know. But we continue training for PhD. So we have a gap. We are building a story building. We have the basics, the undergraduates. Middle there, we don't have a master's, but we are continuing with a PhD, and we have them going on. So we need that to be addressed. One of the challenges when we implemented the masters in traditional, in pharmacognosy and traditional medicine, the first class 207 and 208, that is Dr. Maina, I think Dr. Nyangala, our own Dr. Karomi, Dr. Mukungu, who are not here with us, one of the cry was the attachment sites. So this is an area we need to work on. Do we have site people practicing herbal traditional medicine locally? If not, can we look for places even outside, like the way our colleagues in medicine go for fellowship in other well-established institutions, so that they can be grounded in areas of practice. Funding is another area. We have so much we can do in terms of pharmacognosy, traditional medicine, herbal medicine, but the area of funding, we need to really think about it. On Thursday, Professor Kibwage talked of the issue of human resource staffing. We have our own Prof. Mwangi, we all know him, who has since retired and gone to be with our maker. May he rest in peace. But we also have Dr. Gatuma, who was one of the pioneers in starting us in teaching pharmacognosy in University of Nairobi. They retired, no replacement, no tutorial fellow. Dr. Gwentai, we have some work to do. Yes, so that we are able to serve, because I feel we have a lot to offer. We can still have more we still do have more collaboration. Again, when we normally call him Prof. IOK, when he gave his keynote address, he talked of how we moonlight. So we are really collaborating regionally and even globally. So we need more training, more people getting to masters and PhD, because as my able classmate, Professor Lucas said, we are almost exiting the stage. Who do we leave behind? So we need all these people to come from right now. I've even been invited to be an external examiner in one of our private institutions in pharmacognosy. I was almost declining, but they told me at the moment, could I sacrifice and be there for them? So we need people and more to be there. Funding of research so that we can develop these products. Dr. Duya is asking, why don't we have products in the market? and services of herbal products like we are getting from China, ginkgo, and all the other products. But in spite of all these challenges, we have really been trying. In the next slide, we have since then, we started the master's program. 2007 to date, we had more than 14 graduates. Thank you, my able classmate in another field. I take note of that. Thank you. We have had more than 14 graduates, and all of this, none is not fixed somewhere. Some in community, some in academia, some in research. That tells you there is the need and the demand that is there. In the next slides, I've even given examples of areas of practice. We have in the regulatory area, PPB, Dr. Sifuma, who has since retired, we need replacement, and Dr. Nyangala, who had just made the presentation. Policy, we have Dr. Duya and Dr. Mwangi, I think. Analysis and National Quality Control Lab, our neighbor. I think right now we have Dr. Kwena, I don't know who else is there. These are our own products. Academia, most of them are there. I listened to Dr. Akalala on Thursday saying that 100% of the staff they have are trainees, alumni of the University of Nairobi. This is where Dr. Kimondo, who has done undergraduate, went to outside to do masters, came and did her PhD in pharmacognosy, is one of the support staff, Mount Kenya. We also have Kenyatta University and so forth. In area of high and specialized area, we have more than 7 PhD and ongoing. Currently, we have 3 PhD candidates who are still going on. So we are there, we are working. The circumstances might not be interesting, but we are still ready to serve and take the profession of pharmacy from one level to the next and to the best level. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you so much.
A big hand for our presenters. They have placed it very well about the place for traditional medicines, that it is out there, it is not even traditional, it is integrated and for holistic service to the patient, we need to integrate it all. We've had what the University of Nairobi has done and is doing in this area, and indeed what we have is impressive. And for the students, you have also heard it, that there is a lot of potential in this area. Please welcome and get yourselves involved, because there is a lot of opportunity in that area. Thank you. Perhaps you've taken a little longer. Let me welcome the next session so that we can move on. Thank you.